Hey, welcome to the show, Leading and Growing Your Real Estate Business. This is Coach James Short, aka Shorty. And this is a show for those within the real estate industry wanting to lead and grow their real estate business. It's a series of interviews that we conduct for those within the industry. So we're finding out what those leaders are within the industry, what makes them tick, what's their story, what are their strategies, and how to become the leaders and the growers within the industry. But also it's an interview series with those outside of the industry. I'm always a big believer of looking at a whole different part of the pie rather than just focusing on one part of the pie. Because what it does, it allows you to have a different perspective, allows you to get snippets or golden nuggets from those outside of the industry that can look into the industry and go, there's a different perspective. And so I encourage you to reach out to the guests. I encourage you to lean into these series to find out how can these pieces of information, experiences, stories help you lead and grow your real estate business. And before we get underway with our latest episode, just a little shout out to these amazing crew at Magic Mind. Magic Mind has been it's a productivity hit in the bottle. I've been using these supplementations now for a number of weeks, and the clarity, the focus, and the performance that I've been getting from these nutrients in a bottle. They've got amazing vitamins, amazing minerals. They've got a bunch of mushrooms in there as well. It's a great productivity hack that I've been using every single day. So if you want to try it out, head on over to www.magicmind.com/James Short, and you'll be able to get amazing discounts when you subscribe and when you try the product. And at the checkout, simply add in James Short 20 to get your discount. So head on over, Magic Mind, productivity in a bottle. Oh, I love it. Now, on with the show. Today's guest is none but the other amazing rock star in the industry, Julie Gauci. Julie started her real estate career in 2001 as a receptionist for Ray White. Over the last 23 years, she has moved through the ranks from property manager to assistant agent to agent, and now a business owner with 4 offices and a team of 5 agents and 4 support staff. From Ray White South Coast Group, it's an honor and a privilege to have Julie with us today. Thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome, James. Thanks for having me on.
So 2001, take me
Mm.
back there, right? What
Mm.
sparked you to jump into the industry?
Well, I was working at McDonald's prior to then,
Mhm.
and I went to TAFE and did a office administration certificate because I didn't want to work in a dirty environment anymore. So I just wanted to work in a clean office. I wanted to wear a suit. So I applied for a few jobs, and the one that I happened to land was as a receptionist at a real estate office.
Fantastic. And then obviously going through the different ranks as you just mentioned, what was sort of the most standout positions, roles that you had over the last
Yeah.
20 years?
I would definitely say a property manager that kind of, made me who I am today. I spent, I think, about 12 years working in property management. And yeah, it kind of really gives you a very strong backbone. Mm.
It's a thick skin, right? It's like
Yeah,
you're dealing with so many different personalities and
yeah,
communication and issues. It's like
yeah.
issues department 24/7. What was the biggest turnaround for you as a property manager in relations to that? Like, was there a moment? Was it happen over time? What?
Look, the thing for me with real estate is it's been a great career and a great journey because it's grown with me, so it's allowed me to learn. I was never a smart person that, did really well at school or went to university or anything like that, but I've been able to really learn on the job. I've had some great mentors over the years. Property management is the kind of job that you will succeed in if you've simply got like a can-do attitude and you figure stuff out. A lot of it we just learn ourselves on the go. You learn from mistakes. So yeah, it's really taught me a lot.
Yeah, so true, so true.
Mm.
And that's the thing, drawing upon different roles, different experiences, as you said, makes who you are today.
Yeah.
And then what made you then go into the transition of ownership? How did that come about?
Well, that sort of came about. So as I said, I started out with a Ray White office. I had a baby, left there. I've worked at a couple of different offices around town, had two children throughout that time. And then when I moved to Coldborough Beach, I noticed that a guy by the name of Craig Hadfield, who had Rain and Horn at the time, was advertising for a property manager. And I thought, well, that'd be great. I could work really close to home and work in the town that I live and the community that I live in. So I applied for that job and I got it. And we kind of just really hit it off. And yeah, so it was sort of once I'd met him and he owned the company out here that I thought, well, maybe there is an opportunity for me, because he's not going to be around forever. He's still here at the moment, but someone's got to take over, and why not be me?
Fantastic. And so that's been a nice progression over those last couple of years of taking into the ownership
Yeah, so
role.
I only came into ownership. I think this will be my third financial year that we've just come into. Yeah.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah.
And what's been the biggest lesson around stepping into that role that you've learned over the
Oh.
last 3 years?
um, that you won't necessarily make stacks of money. Um, you're not always taking out money. Sometimes, you even have to put money back into the business. That when, things aren't going well, it's all on you. You
Mm.
still have to look after all the staff. You have to make sure that they're okay. So it's not about just you anymore.
And that's what I really like. That's what I really want to emphasize is because there's so much more responsibility. There's so much more at stake. And, the perception out there is, oh yeah, they're the boss, they earn all the money, but it's not necessarily the case. It's all the risk, it's all the responsibility, or sometimes minimal reward,
Yeah.
but making sure everyone else is looked after at the same time.
Yeah.
How do you manage that on a mindset,
Yeah.
mental aspect?
Well, it has been a huge learning curve for me, and I will have to say, and if you were to ask my business partner, I probably didn't manage it that well to begin with, because not long after I came in as a partner, our market completely turned. So we had the massive spike during COVID, and we were selling properties like they were hotcakes, and we were doing really well. And then all of a sudden that just turned off, and it was right when I came into ownership. So um, yeah, I did struggle a little bit for a period of time, but obviously I had really good support, and that's sort of why we then grew this business. So I then opened two more offices, and through kind of that process, we were able to recruit some more agents. And so also just a little bit of a mind shift from me being the number one writer, which I always have been in the company, to actually building up the other associate agents and the agents that we've recruited so that they can achieve their goals and essentially write big numbers. So it's not actually all down to me.
Hey guys, just a little side note here. How's it going? Are you on track this year? I know that sometimes this part of the year we can feel like we're in a bit of a grind, a bit of in the trenches. Are you on track from the original plans that you set out for the rest of this year? What I've realized is that between with this time of year, we get so distracted and we've got trying to chase so many shiny balls and go down so many rabbit holes. And that's why I created a program called the 90. It's a framework that actually allows you to achieve more in 90 days than ever before. Some of the feedback that we've got from some of the people that have used the process, the 90, is that they've achieved more in 90 days than the whole previous year. So if you'd like to have the tools, have the techniques, have the framework on the 90, so you and your team can achieve more in 90 days than ever before. What it does, and it impacts you of how to get clear, what you need to do, and who you need to be to show up in order to achieve the things you want to achieve over the next 90 days. Simply head over to jamesshort.com.au, click on join the waitlist, fill in your details, and one of the team members will be in touch and take you through the 90 framework. On with the show. I love that. There's two things I really got from that is one is when you came in and the market changed, you could go, oh, you could have imploded, right? And go, poor me, poor me. But what I'm hearing is that you took some massive action and you went, oh, let's go and start another two offices. Like, wow, that's pretty
Mm.
epic. And at the same time, most there's a lot of offices out there where the principal, the owners are the the biggest writers. And obviously all the pressure goes back to them. But what I'm hearing is that you've taken a different path, which is amazing. I love hearing is that where you're building the people up around you. So you're sharing the love, sharing the workload, but also sharing the rewards at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely correct. And I'm actually getting a bit of a kick out of that. Whereas, before the kick was, oh yeah, I've done this, I've done that. But now watching other people sort of achieve things, I'm actually finding rewarding in itself. And, it's an interesting concept that, I've spoken about a little bit because, to a certain point, growth for me was all about increasing my individual sales business and the volume there and the GCI there. But growth doesn't always have to be about GCI. So it's like, okay, well, if that's not where the growth is, what's the growth?
Love it. Key word, right? So true. Having that growth mentality and that
Mm.
mindset on all parts of the business.
Yeah.
You would have noticed a bunch of trends changing over the last 20 odd years. What have you found within the industry has been the biggest changes in trends that you've seen?
Well, like when I first started, we were just getting things like email was just becoming a thing, and the internet was kind of just really coming in.
Yep.
From memory, I even remember some of the guys back when I was just the young kid on the reception having those big phones.
The big blocks,
Like,
right?
yeah, exactly. So, now like obviously always technology, and I think the real estate industry has been really lucky because it is one of those jobs where a person is needed. Like we can't actually become redundant because people need us because whenever a seller wants too much and a buyer doesn't want to pay enough, we need a negotiator, and that's where we come in. So, but yeah, technology is changing and upgrading at such a rapid pace now, and we're in the midst of a lot of that at the moment.
So true. And all the different platforms, all the different like AI, all those different key components, particularly over the last couple of years, it's
Mm.
certainly ramped up. Where
Yeah.
is it for you guys? Where is it? What's coming up? What's that future plan for you
Yeah,
guys?
well, like obviously, and Ray White invests a lot in their tech department. So we're pretty lucky that way. So, we've got a bunch of new stuff coming through for agency agreements, for proposals, for online auctions. We were pretty quick to jump to online auctions, particularly right when COVID came. So we moved straight to online. So we can do hybrid auctions now. And then also just for our CRM, we're moving a lot of that. So, but I think it's really important not to get too caught up in all of that,
Mhm.
which, like, yeah, I have seen some of the newer agents coming in relying on all this tech, but nothing will replace you having relationships and, servicing people. Nothing will change there.
Nothing changes from picking up the phone and having those
Correct.
conversations, right? Like you can have all the
Exactly.
whiz bang tech,
Yeah.
the reminders and
Mm.
the pings, the pongs, everything that
Yeah.
just flashes up. But unless you actually pick up the phone and make those
Yes.
calls, nothing's going
Yeah.
to happen. So true.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then so what is it for you personally? Have you
Mm.
got any future plans for yourself? Are you wanting to step more into the leadership management of the team, or you're still looking to get out
Yeah.
there and list and sell?
Yeah, no, I'll keep listing and selling for a while to come because I still do enjoy that, particularly like where I live. It's a very small community, and I feel like people are kind of relying on me. So I do still enjoy doing that. So yeah, for me at the moment, it's probably about perfecting a bit of a balance. Um, of being able to do both. Yeah. So I don't sort of intend to become non-selling in the foreseeable future. I'm sure I will at some point down the track. But yeah, for now, I'll probably just try and really settle into this role a bit more. But yeah, keep growing the team.
Nice, nice. I
Mm.
mean, that's the thing, right? The communities, it's such a integral part of real estate and being that
Yes.
face out there into the community.
Yes.
You're so busy, obviously, doing your own listing and selling, managing the team, and then obviously a busy mum, right? Like
Yes.
a couple of amazing kids. How do you like if there was a mum out there or even a dad
Mhm.
out there, like going,
Mhm.
how do you fit in family time? How do you fit
Yeah.
in all, like, how do you do it?
Well, um, first of all, don't try for work-life balance because there is no such thing. It's just all life. Particularly when it comes to being a real estate agent, it's who you are. It's not, something that you can put down, for a period of time. You're a real estate agent. And it's the same as being a mum. You're a mum. And what I often say to people, because, we employ a lot of people who are parents, and I find that mums in particular have to deal with this thing called mum guilt, which I had for a number of years. I always felt guilty when I was at work because I wasn't doing what I needed to do at home. I'd feel guilty when I was at home doing things there because I wasn't doing what I needed to do at work. So I think it's actually accepting that you can't actually do everything perfectly. So just, do what you can with what you've got at the time and don't be so hard on yourself. Like I've really had to just not be hard on myself and understand that, for a period of time there when the kids were in primary school and things like that, if I didn't get to the office until 10 past 9, that's when I got to the office. If I took a day off to go to the swimming carnival, well, then that's what I did. So, and that's what has been really good for me about real estate is it's really fitted my life and I've really been able to kind of have the best of both worlds, I think. Yeah. But I
That's
am very busy and I do get pretty tired.
oh, it's so common though, right? Like, and
Mhm.
that explanation of it's just life. It's, it's not trying to have that balance, but it's just you
Mm.
encompassing all those key aspects of life, which is, I think,
Mm.
so important.
Yeah.
Julie, on the show, we have a 60-second quiz to find out a little bit more about our guests. Are you willing to play?
Yep, sure, go ahead. Is this
Ah,
the questions?
yeah, yeah, yep.
Because I made notes.
Cool. Here we go. Favorite movie?
The Man from Snowy River.
Oh, nice. I love that. Favorite food?
Chocolate.
Favorite holiday destination?
Mooloolaba on the Sunshine Coast.
Ooh, beautiful, beautiful. Favorite, oh, do you have a morning routine?
Yes, I get up at 4:45. I usually put on a load of washing. I make my son's lunch and I get him out the door. I go to the gym. I come home. I have breakfast. I hang out the washing. I unpack the dishwasher, get something out for tea, and then I head to work.
Oh my gosh. Wow, that's a busy morning. What about an
And
evening routine? Oh,
oh,
sorry,
so
go on.
well, no, well, I was going to say because you asked me before about how do you do it all, get up early
Hey,
and get shit done in the morning,
yep.
because then the nighttime routine is pretty much get home, have dinner, read my book for a bit, and I'm in bed by 9.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Do you have a most embarrassing moment?
Well, there is only really, couldn't really think of one, but there's one that sometimes comes to me when I'm lying in bed and I just cringe. I'd been at the ARIC conference and then I was sort of new to sales at that point in time and I was hanging out with like some pretty cool salespeople who, I just thought were like way better than me and everything. And we went out for dinner and I was pronouncing mojito as mojito. I'm going, I'll get a mojito. And no one knew what I was talking about. And then I realized I was saying it wrong. And yeah, just, I'll never live that one down.
I love it. That's a good
Mhm.
one. If
Mhm.
you could choose five inspirational people to have dinner with, they could be dead or alive. Who would they
Yep.
be?
So Megan Jaffe from Ray White Remuera, Abby Chatfield, Taria Pitt, Michelle Obama, and I can't say this lady's name correctly, but it's Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie.
Ooh, what
Yeah,
a great
she's
conversation that would be.
yeah.
Fantastic. Do you have the biggest regret?
No.
Great. If you were Prime Minister for the day, what's one thing that you would change?
What do I say here? I would put laws in place to protect women and children who are victims of domestic violence.
Fantastic, fantastic. And best piece of advice?
No one cares, work harder.
Ooh, I love it. I love it. And so how can the audience follow your journey, reach out, get in contact with you?
Yeah, maybe just probably Instagram.
Mhm.
Yep, just my Instagram page.
Great. All right, fantastic. Julie, really appreciate your time, energy, expertise, and just sharing with us your journey on the show today.
No worries at all.